Hi, I'm back with y'all energy reading. Before the camera cut out, I had pulled us some positive affirmation cards. The first one, it says, I deserve the best and I accept the best now. So we're gonna just take these. It is safe to look within. We're gonna take these. We're gonna pull a couple cards, break them down, see what's coming. The point of power is always in the present moment. So we're gonna break them down. I'm beautiful and everybody loves me. We're gonna break them down necessarily and see what it is, cause see what it is that's coming for the week. So we're gonna put a couple cards on each, see how many cards come out. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna wrap it up. I read the back of each card, and bam, there you go. And then after this, we'll put the fire signs reading up. I said I gotta put up some like dope ass captions so y'all can see about the weekly energy reading. Cause I know somebody was like, y'all don't have the right caption on the video. People not gonna watch it, which I was like, that's bullshit. But whatever the case may be. So I'm a little salty though. Necessarily though. But I'm a crystal for the ones who do watch. Subscribers going up. I'm almost at 20. Pick-a-boo-boo. Who-shaw. Alright. So that's just it. We're gonna pull a couple more. See what comes. And let the day be made. Alright. Sip this. Alright. Knight of Swords. Ooh, I knew it was going to be a lot for each one. Ooh, alright, that fell over there. Alright. Take that, put that there. Last one, the point of power. As always in the present moment. Ooh. Alright, we got damn near a lot on each one. As you can see, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Alright. Girl, let me make sure I got this locked on, because that thing be doing its own damn thing sometimes. It really do. I tell y'all, so we get over here, we editing shit out. Alright. Alright, on the bottom of the deck, we got, you got the Fool, right? The Queen of Wands. And you got the World, though. Some of y'all could be trying to take a risk necessarily. It could be your own actions doing too much necessarily. Like some of y'all could be possibly doing too much. I told you, I think I explained in a video, I think 3 weeks back, in the energy weekly reading, where I was kind of like that Queen of Wands spirit may not necessarily trust or value someone enough, so they kind of in the spirit of I got it, or whatever the case may be. So they always have it and they don't leave room for other people to be able to do certain things, or they put themselves in a position to be tired out or necessarily not caring about their actions of how it looks. You may say the Queen of Pentacles is, the Queen of Wands is the type of person that say, hey, let's do this, and they don't care. They could be boundary crossers necessarily. So that's why I said that's on the bottom of the deck. So that's why I say you got the Fool, the Queen of Wands, and the World. Y'all could be contemplating making some decisions. I don't know, but it seems like this Queen of Wands may be the problem. Or it could be you. You got Ace of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles, though. So I like that, though. Opportunities necessarily, oh, this kind of gives me, though, like somebody's like, oh, you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Like somebody promised somebody something and they just constantly hounding them down for it to receive it. And it goes into possibly a celebration, because you got the Judgment here as well. So somebody's waiting on like a judgment call necessarily, or some appraisal. Could be job, work related necessarily, though. Help, financial gain. It is kind of hard, though, being an entrepreneur, though, when you're trying to start up businesses, though. Price setting, all those different types of things. You have to hound certain clients down. Some of y'all may be trying to accumulate certain resources. Queen of Wands reversed, it could be certain actions based necessarily. Some of y'all could be necessarily doing a lot for financial type gain. Like, is this it? Like, is this one going to hit? Like, you hear me say that hustler mentality. Like, trying to figure out what's going to work and then sticking to it necessarily, though. So we will see, though. That's why I said we'll see what's going on, though. Alright. So over here for the week, we got I deserve the best. I am mentally and emotionally equipped to enjoy a prosperous life and loving a prosperous and loving life. It is my birthright to deserve all good, and I claim my good. So let's see what's holding you up, or what's there for you stopping yourself to deserve the best. Bam. You got the Five of Cups, Queen. You got the Five of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Devil in reverse. That's why I said some of y'all could be independent, stepping into your own, necessarily following your own intuition and listening to self. Because the Queen of Swords could be somebody necessarily that speaks for somebody, but I don't like this though. With the Five of Cups, the Queen, and the Devil is kind of like somebody is necessarily. It could be with friendships or a person, like you hear me say that Queen of Wands energy. I got it. Don't worry about it, because somebody doesn't give somebody the chance. So it could be you like fighting for your newness or step into that, because you got Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So it could be a relationship though. Somebody could feel like they're drained necessarily. It could be a relationship aspect of some of y'all feel like you have to leave something behind necessarily, or a person or a commitment, or stepping into a place of a deserving. That's what it kind of gets me though. Like somebody's in a space of deserving though, because the Nine of Cups goes back to here. Like you hear me say, some of y'all trying to love or give from a empty well. Like you know the old saying, you don't miss your well till your water run dry. That's the energy that it gives me though. So I think some of y'all necessarily have to focus on you. And I think somebody's always having somebody that's very attentive to them or being attentive to others. So that's why I said I deserve the best. Some of y'all actually saying goodbye to old love, old friendships, and whatever it is, and saying, I'm done, or whatever the case may be. Like stepping into a place of wiseness. It is safe to look within. As I move through the layers of other people's opinions and belief, I see myself a magnificent being, wise and beautiful. I love what I see in me. That's why I said, yep, this has something to do with that though. Because you got the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. This could be like with parenting and children though, because you do got the Queen and the King necessary, the Queen of Swords and the Knight. So this could have something to do with that's a bag on my bed if y'all looking at it. This could have something to do with like a parent or parental type approval necessarily, like Nine of Pentacles energy though. Breaking free away from the nest, like the goals, the dreams, figuring out what it is like that you want to do that actually makes you feel fulfilled. It could be new passion projects or something that goes against the grain that family necessarily don't like. If it was to be like a cop or a nurse or a lawyer, whatever it is, it's kind of like somebody say, oh well, I want to start a crayon factory. I don't know, but it's just doing something different that finally makes you happy, because it's like that's what it is. I think somebody may be working a job or in a career space doing something what somebody else wants them to do, and kind of like, no, I want to do something different. And I think that's where somebody's going within, because you got the Ten of Cups reversed, the Eight of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Wands necessarily. It could be like a battle. You see this a lot though with kids who are raised up in big families necessarily, like when it comes to parents and parental type values, where parents aren't able to give you the attention or the love necessarily that you needed. So the validation comes within saying, I'm going to get the job, I'm going to get a car, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But it entices the ego, and it creates like an arrogant type space to where it creates this sibling rivalry. Like that's what it kind of gives me though, like this sibling rivalry, like no mom I got this, no mom, like the kids necessarily like fighting for the sense of approval of a parent, to where like when it comes to the overall happiness of oneself or tending to their own, they don't know how, so somebody's living out somebody else's dream. So that's why I said that's what it is. Okay, you got the point of power is always in the present moment. The past is over and done and has no power over me. I can begin to be free in this moment. Today's thoughts can create my future. I am in change. I now take my own power back. I am safe and I am free. I like that though. I like that though. Whew, this is what it is though. Whew, you got Nine of Wands, Strength, and the Chariot though. Some of y'all could be a little bit Nine of Wands, some of y'all could be wounded by your own actions or taking necessarily of your power back, because a lot of people think when they're, I'm taking control of my life, I'm going to do this. Like sometimes we get so focused on fighting for the approval of others or trying to make others feel our standpoint. Like you hear me say, when it was me stepping into my spirituality, other people didn't get it. I was too busy trying to make people see why I was like going down this road, and that was like giving away my power uselessly to people who once dead on didn't understand me though. Like some of us be in a position to where like that Nine of Wands energy can isolate us from other people who earn sharp as iron, like who can push us in the direction that we need to go. So that's why I said power's in your hand, necessarily what you choose to do. Some of y'all, because you got Hierophant, the Six of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. Some of y'all necessarily, this could be in a relationship matter or studying or teaching or moving on, or it could be a marriage necessarily where somebody doesn't necessarily like, where somebody likes somebody and it's like family doesn't have that sense of approval, but somebody's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. With the Hierophant of the Six of Wands, like some of y'all's like, I'm gonna move on anyway, but it may be coming from like a mature type space. That's what it kind of gives me though, like wanting to do your own thing, but in the Nine of Wands being so defensive and like arrogant and egotistical or whatever the case may be, when you didn't do it, da 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 da, like shouting from the rooftops. I think somebody's necessarily trying to dominate, but they're being dominated, like that type of energy though. So that's why I said taking your power back. But the Hierophant too is we aren't necessarily in spiritual paths or enlightenment when that did come up, necessarily learning what it is that you need to know, going to study, because the Hierophant is all about teaching, learning matters, spirituality, marriages, or whatever the case may be, certain practices. Just make sure that you're studying you before you get into those things, and you know it's desire, like the cause and effects of everything that's going on in your life. Okay, last card out. I am beautiful and everybody loves me. I radiate acceptance and I am deeply loved by others. Love surrounds me and protects me. I like this goal because I am beautiful and everybody loves me. The cons of that don't necessarily, if you love yourself enough and you radiate love, like she said, you won't be around people who make you second guess what it is you do. When you love yourself, you don't have time to sit there and to prove yourself to people who are so gun-ho on like just doing the complete opposite. You don't, because you know who you are. Those people would necessarily just shed away like the snake sheds its skin and get a new coat, or they'll just blend in with the surroundings. So that's why I said that's on you. You have to go where you need to go. So this is all about you this week. I like this though. Okay. Ooh, no. Five of Cups, Queen of Cups, and the Hangman though. Some of y'all are recovering. Queen of Cups in the recovery type phases. Queen of Cups like trying to bounce back though. Some of y'all with this with this Hangman reverse, some of y'all necessarily could be in like the chicken limbo type spirit. Chicken limbo. Some of y'all could be like in the limbo spirit, necessarily trying to figure out what works for you. Trying to say, okay, well, this worked, this is not necessarily, should I do, like needing that approval or that constant validation from others necessarily, that you like cutting off your nose to spite your face, where you're very like you could be cold to others as you are to yourself. That's why I said it's kind of like this repetitive type action. It's kind of like wanting this, do you see me? Do you know me? Do you hear me? This is what I'm trying to do necessarily. And it's not thinking about or taking that empathy understanding for others as well as for yourself. So that's why I said, yeah. That's why I said, yeah. Everybody ain't gonna get it, but that don't mean that everybody does not love you. Just because somebody doesn't like ideally what you're trying to do for its career purposes, for its jobs, breaking generational curses, challenging certain people, everybody not gonna like this shit. But that don't mean that people don't appreciate you or adore you for the person you are. You got the Temperance, the Five of Swords, and the Star. I told you, temperance is kind of like the one hand washes the other, the peace within the soul, restoration, like constantly being fulfilled and completed necessarily though. But you got the Five of Wands though at a standstill, and you have the Star. So that's why I said some of y'all are going back and forth, teeter-tottering with an idea of what is peace, like to not be worried with what other people think or how they feel, because the Star necessarily, when you like in ascending or you get to that certain level, you kind of feel like, is this really what it's supposed to feel like? Especially if you're so used to dysfunction, chaos, confusion, mental trauma, pain. Like when you used to stuff like that, this here ascending necessarily, like having peace within the soul, you'll feel like, oh my God, this is not it. Like when people speak of like the dark night of the soul necessarily, this is what it seems like. Somebody, your school is scheduled for student devices. All right, okay, pick up this week, please check. Oh, okay, my bad, y'all. But I was reading a text message. But when you necessarily going through these type of moments necessarily, where they speak of like the dark night of the soul, where I tell people all the time, coming out of depression is like a depression for itself. You fighting for your goddamn life, and you fighting for something new. When you want that acceptance necessarily and not trying to figure out what's going on within self, you can start to figure like, okay, well, I'm cool. This doesn't bother me, da-da-da-da. But the environment of the people that you keep putting yourself around or feel like you need to make them understand, it can feel like it's hopeless. Because you got 2 9 of Cups reversed. Did we? Did we get a 9 of Cups reversed? You did. You did. That's why I said independently seeking that approval from necessarily others. Well, they don't see it. Do they see it? So that's why I said you could be you defending your love to somebody necessarily saying, well, I like them. They really make me happy. And the people around you kind of like, well, no, I don't. Or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, no. Because difference is different. I mean, different. Everybody deserves different. Everybody wants different. Like, we are all made in different shapes, forms, and fashions for a reason necessarily, though. So that's why I said some of y'all wanting what you want and trying to be able to move forward. Some of y'all trying to restore. Some of y'all maybe telling the lover, I'm sorry, I can't do this shit no more. That's what it kind of gives me, though. Like, some over here, I deserve the best. Some of y'all saying, I'm sorry, I can't do this no more. For some of y'all, it's regretting letting someone speak for you because you knew independently. Like, say for instance, if you were talking and it was something that you felt, or like the emotional type matters. When I say, when y'all speaking to people about your relationship, you have to have people in your relationship to where if you come tell me, oh, my partner ain't shit, da 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 da, if we're close friends, but I know you love this person or you adore this person, I still have to be able to let you vent, give you the advice that you need, and help the relationship connection, because this is your happiness. So some of y'all necessarily regret talking to somebody. Like, that's what it kind of gets me, though. Like, shit, I shouldn't have said this, though. Because you got the 10 of Wands about a connection. Because we all go through those rough patches. But some of y'all saying, fuck off, goodbye, I don't care. For the ladder that comes in, it is safe to look within, though, necessarily, because that's cool, because some of y'all go outside seeking that approval necessarily from friends and support, which is cool, but some of y'all don't know how, like, boundaries, that's what I said, boundaries. This was coming up a lot in the fire sign readings, like boundaries necessarily, and it was just really mainly, yeah, it was all fire signs necessarily, it was all y'all, for the boundaries being implicated necessarily, to look within. So you could stop having people violating yours or doing the same. It was whichever one. The point of power is always in the present moment. Like I said, it is. But it's all about learning that earn sharp as earn. If your group, your collective of people are not strengthening you, they're not showing you how to, they're not teaching you or showing you what is true strength. And they're not necessarily showing, teaching. It's just a teachable moment. Like, these are good major arcanas. How to be able to move on. Or they're not showing you, like, hey, this is what goes on. This is why this falls, because of this. Like, this is immature. You just being downright stubborn. This is not working. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, you're not learning. Like, this is not a power play. Like, if people around you not showing you those type of things, then I will see why somebody's breaking free. The I am beautiful. I am beautiful. And everybody loves me. I told y'all that that's surrounding yourself around love, like she puts in the deck, though. But that's why I said some of y'all fluctuating back and forth. Is it? Should I? I don't know. Is this what I want to do? Did I, like, going through that, like, second guessing after you made all the steps. You got the help necessarily you need with the Ace of Pentacles. Help with that coming from divine. And some of y'all kind of like, I don't know. Is this really it? It's like, I don't know. Because I told y'all, what was it, like a week or two ago, I said I didn't like that, though, necessarily. Because one of y'all, it seemed like one of y'all had, like, this majorly codependent relationship with a parent or a lover, necessarily. And it's kind of like when it decides for you to think for yourself, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for you to think for yourself because you always so used to somebody speaking. You got the Judgment, though. I'll pull a couple more and we wrap this up in 20 minutes. And you got Ace of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Swords. That's why I said some of y'all necessary. This does have to do with their energy where y'all so used to people speaking for you. Like, it could be that higher self, higher power to where somebody's not confident enough to step into their descendant type energy to communicate their needs. So it's like this other person, that Queen of Wands, I got it. It necessarily, I got it. Don't worry about it. Some of y'all are learning to let this go, because I think this came up like in the Cancerian, was that Cancer read? I think it was y'all. Was it the monthlies? I don't know, because I did that video like 4 damn times. I'm sorry, I did though. I really did that Cancer reading 4 damn times. It was kind of like, it was a secret that you didn't want somebody to know, and somebody came back and they said something anyway, and it came out to this big shebang. It was about money, finances necessarily. So if that situation relates to you, you can go check that one out. But it's kind of giving this. And then I don't know which video to be exact, so I think it's like 3 weeks ago. So if it's weekly readings and you want to go check that out, just go watch it. I think it's before the karmic weekly reading. So that's it. But other than that, though, that's why I said some of y'all, in order to be able to move forward, you got to be able to accept the truth. Some of y'all may have been around some people who have tried to sabotage certain things for you, with certain connections necessarily. Like, you know how you have those family members necessarily that do certain things, telling you, you can't do this, you don't need to do this, and it's like, this is my dream, nigga. Like, you get what I'm saying? And you got the Judgment and the Ace of Swords, to where, like, this is where that higher calling, that ascended, that understanding, the backup from the sharpest earn type group is like, yeah, do that shit. And you just like, okay, fuck it. I'm being truthful with myself, because I look within to understand. So this week look like we're gonna be doing a little self-evolution necessarily, though. So that's why I'm gonna title this video Self-Evolution. So that's what it looks like this week, though. Self-evolution necessary, because some of y'all be so afraid to ascend or step into your higher power, the things that you need, because you be like, well, I don't want to let this person go, and I don't want to leave them. Didn't nobody say you had to lead them. You just got to be the one to lead them necessarily. So that's what y'all be getting caught up on. So that's why I said, other than that though, that's it. So what this is, yeah, only card that's different that fell out was Six of Wands. The Magician, I had put them all together so they rest up. That's why I said, Did nobody say you gotta lead them? Some of y'all just have to lead them. But I told you I don't like that Six of Wands energy, though. So that's why I said this may be the energy that some of y'all may be dealing with, because you got Temperance, Five of Swords, and the Star. That's patience, defensive type energy necessarily, happiness, like that, fighting for that attention type aspect necessarily. Then you got the Judgment, resurrecting, Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles, gossip, rumors, tail barriers, just continuously doing the same thing, though, like that ass. So I think this week, though, as I wrote on my board, which was reputation versus repetition. So that's why I said some of y'all going through those type of cycles. Do I want to be known for this, or do I want to keep doing the same thing? Because Seven of Swords and the Magician is like somebody sneaking and trying to get away with some shit. Some of y'all trying to sneak and get away from certain people. It's kind of like you may be going somewhere and be like, oh no, damn it. And you see them out in public where you done lied and say, oh no, I can't do this. And y'all sneaking somewhere else. You're like, fuck. Or y'all lying to certain friends and shit like that, or family members necessarily. What reading was that? I don't know. I think it was like in one of the air signs videos where I was kind of like, with family necessarily, if you've been having like patience problem with them, it's starting to come out. They're like, oh, but they don't come to the dinners anymore. They don't do this. Like, they starting to recognize, because I think some of y'all with y'all family type matters, y'all kind of like, these motherfuckers like some bullies. Dead ass. Like, that's what I think some of y'all recognize when it comes to families and friends necessarily. Like, when it comes to the idea of happiness. But some of y'all are, I ain't gonna say trauma bonded, because the card didn't come out, but some of y'all kind of like, well, I don't want to leave them necessarily, but I keep losing out with them. And ain't nobody said you had to leave them. You just gotta lead them. So yeah, in this season, but you gotta lead you first. So on that note, get emotionally clear. Two of Cups, get emotionally clear about who you want, partnerships, what you need, masculine and feminine energy before you go to that next level, 3D, and then you go up to that. So that's why I said this, y'all. So other than that, y'all, this y'all weekly reading. I like this. This was real there. I like this, though. So other than that, I'm gone for the do the fires. So yeah, that's it. Chop chop.